It's easier for you to forgive someone else. It's harder for you to forgive yourself because you have to live with you. You have to look at the things that you've done and you have to accept it. Hi, it's so nice to see you. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Callie and this is Live in Present. In today's video, we're going to be talking about forgiveness of the self, what that looks like and what that feels like and how to go about it. So you already know the drill. Get a cup of tea, have a sit down, get comfortable because today we're going to get into it. This video is actually the second part. First part, we talked about forgiveness of others. In this video, we're going to talk about the self. I will link that video in this video or down below. I'm going to talk about some things in this video that I mentioned in that video. So to understand, it'll make more sense if you watch that video. So go ahead and pause this video, go ahead and give that one a watch and then come back and then finish this video. Forgiveness is a process, and part of that process, it's a two-way street. So not only do you need to forgive others, but it's also important that you forgive yourself. Forgiveness of the self is something that I think not many people talk about unless you're, in therapy, but so many people focus on the forgiveness of others, but not many people talk about the forgiveness of oneself. Forgiving yourself is not only important in circumstances when you've harmed someone, but it's also in just in life in general. Like, none of us are perfect, so understanding how to forgive yourself, I think, is a human skill that we should all have. So the first thing I want to talk about is acknowledge and accept your mistakes. Long story short, accountability. You will never be able to forgive yourself if you can't accept what you've done. Right? Notice I said accept what you have done, not excuse what you have done. Right? You need to be able to look into yourself without judgment, without punishment, and say, you know what? I made a mistake. I went about this not the best of ways. Look at the mistake you made and figure out how you can learn from it, right? Because what you don't want is that mistake to go to waste. You might as well do something with it. So learn from it, understand where you went wrong, figure out what you can take away from the experience that can help you and assist you in the next experience, right? So instead of looking at yourself with judgment and anger and coming down on yourself, figure out a way to learn from the situation. What can be your takeaway? Because learning from the situation takes away that, oh my God, what did I do? It takes away that feeling and it allows you to look into yourself and understand, okay, I did this. I accept this. I don't condone this, but I need to learn from this so that I do not make this mistake again. So you have to be able to acknowledge and accept the mistake that you have made. Replace guilt with self-compassion. So often when you make a mistake, we are so harsh and mean to ourselves when we've done something that we knew we weren't supposed to do. But you need to humanize the situation. You are a person, and when you were born, nobody gave you the handbook on how to be a perfect human or a good human. Nobody gave you that tool. So you need to be able to look into yourself and say, okay, listen, you have to add an element of compassion to yourself. You have to speak to yourself as you would speak to a friend. You have to acknowledge the fact that there is an opportunity of growth there. It's hard to learn from your mistakes when you're always belittling yourself or you're coming down on yourself and, oh, I'm so stupid or I'm so dumb. And excuse me, what kind of words is that? Why would you talk to yourself like that? Like the world is hard enough. There's so many things going on in the world, and you want to be the person to speak to you like that, and then but here's the kicker: let somebody else talk to you in that same way. Would you take it? Would you accept it? Because me personally, ain't nobody talking to me like that. Nobody. So if I wouldn't allow other people to talk to me like that, why would I speak to myself like that? Stop talking to yourself like that. Like actually stop. You're a person that made a mistake. Acknowledge that. Humanize the situation because that's the only way you're going to learn from it. You're turning that mistake into a learning opportunity. That's how you will learn. You will be able to forgive yourself. Is understand, okay, I made this mistake and I'll never make this mistake again, or I will try very hard not to make this mistake again. That's how you're going to work on forgiveness and forgive yourself, not by punishing yourself and coming down on yourself. That's just not going to work. Take action and make amends. It doesn't hurt to tell someone that you are sorry, right? Whether you intentionally hurt them or you unintentionally hurt. But the kicker is, right? You need to understand is not everybody is going to accept that I'm sorry. Not everybody is going to want to hear the apology. Not everybody's going to want to make amends. I have to understand that in making amends, there's a big possibility that the person you are attempting to make amends with, they will not want it. And that's okay. Just because the person doesn't want to make amends with you doesn't mean that you can't forgive yourself, right? So definitely take the steps if you value the relationship that you have caused pain in. Take the steps to make amends. Take the steps to say you are sorry. But understand that when you are saying that, this is not to make yourself feel better and make your conscience feel better. If you're saying sorry to someone, it is for them, and it is up to them to do with that as they please. And you have to understand that, okay, you caused them pain, and if they do not want that I'm sorry, you just got to accept that. You got to own that. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to forgive yourself. You can't punish yourself forever. You just have to accept that, listen, I did this, and maybe I broke this relationship, or maybe I did something that I truly, truly, truly regret. But you still have to forgive yourself, and you still have to make the steps to move forward with yourself, because you have to live with yourself. That person is going to move on with your life. You have to live with you. So therefore, it's your responsibility to give forgiveness to yourself. It's not the responsibility of the other person to give you forgiveness. You have to give you forgiveness. When you take actions to make amends, whether the person accepts it or not, it helps you release the guilt that you're holding on to, because ultimately that's what asking for forgiveness is. You feel guilty that you've hurt someone, so you want to say, listen, I'm sorry, and in the hopes, you're hoping to say, okay, well, you hope that person say, you know what, I forgive you. And sometimes you're not going to get that. Sometimes you're not going to get that, but you still need to do the work to release the guilt within yourself. And for my final tip, and I think it's the most important one, you have to let it go. You have to move forward. When you hold on to the mistakes that you have made, and I'm a victim of this myself. I used to, at the end of the day, I used to go through my day, and if I made, it doesn't matter how small the mistake was, if I made a mistake, I would replay it over and over and over again. I was torturing myself because I did not understand that you have to let it go. Have to let it go. You're a human being and you will make mistakes, right? Unintentional, sometimes it's intentional. That's okay. You have to let it go, because if you do not let it go, you are literally keeping your body in fight or flight. And in the first part of this video, I touched on what that does to your body. You are keeping yourself in a stuck place because you don't want to let it go. The person that you hurt has moved on with their life, hopefully. You can't replay the cycle of what you have done over and over again. That is literally, in my opinion, because the correct term for that, replaying the event, is called ruminate. I think ruminate should be a crime. It should be a crime. It really is, because you force your body to relive the feelings. You force your body to relive the pain. And ultimately, that only hurts you. It's a very slippery slope from punishing yourself to resenting yourself to now hating yourself. You can get there real quickly. And not forgiving yourself is the perfect way to do that. So if you want to torture yourself, by all means, don't forgive yourself. It's easier for you to forgive someone else. It's harder for you to forgive yourself, because you have to live with you. You have to look at the things that you've done, and you have to accept it. You just understand that in accepting what you have done, you take the steps to ensure that you do not do it again. That's what forgiveness of yourself, that's what that does for you. It allows you to look at the situation without having distaste or hate for yourself. It allows you to learn from the situation. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next video. As always, you have a good day. Bye. Recorded this whole video and it did not record. So if I get up and look at this footage and it did not record, I will quite literally pass away. And on that note, see ya.